Picture this. You're deep underground and the air suddenly turns to dust. The lights cut out. The ground shakes like a living animal. Then the tunnel behind you collapses with a sound so heavy it feels like the mountain just swallowed the world. This is a real survival story from Chile. On August 5th, 2010, the San José Mine in northern Chile suffered a massive cave-in. 33 miners were trapped roughly 700 meters, more than 2,000 feet below the surface. In the first minutes, there was one question that mattered more than anything. Is there a way out, or are we buried alive? A mine is a maze even on a normal day. But when power fails and dust fills the air, you can't see your hands. Every breath tastes like rock. Voices sound far away. You move by touch, not sight, and you learn a terrifying truth. In darkness, up is only a guess. The men tried passages they knew by memory. Some routes were blocked by debris, others felt unsafe. Every wrong turn cost energy, and energy was already running out. They retreated to an emergency refuge chamber, deeper inside. The refuge wasn't comfort, it was a cramped room with the weight of the earth above it. The air felt thick, and every breath sounded loud. In the dark, small noises turn monstrous. A drip becomes footsteps, a creak becomes a warning. Some men prayed, some stared at the floor, saving their words like oxygen. They promised each other one thing: nobody would give up alone. At first, the worst part wasn't hunger. It was not knowing if anyone on the surface even knew they were alive. Down there, time doesn't behave like it does above ground. A minute can feel like an hour because there's no sunlight, no phone, no horizon, just darkness, heat, and the metallic taste of fear. They took inventory. The amount of food was painfully small: canned tuna, crackers, and a little milk. So they made a rule that sounds impossible until you understand the stakes. Each person got a bite-sized portion every 2 days. Not a meal, a portion. They chewed slowly, trying to trick their bodies into feeling full. Hunger became a constant noise in the background, like a radio you can't turn off. Water mattered even more. Deep underground, sweat doesn't cool you. It steals moisture you can't easily replace. The men rationed carefully. They measured, they shared. Because dehydration is quiet. It doesn't scream. It just makes your thinking slower, your body weaker, and your hope smaller. And the mine fought them every hour. Heat and humidity clung to their skin. The air felt stale. Dust coated their mouths. Every sound became suspicious. A distant crack could be rock shifting, or it could be another collapse coming to finish the job. Sometimes they heard vibrations they couldn't explain. They didn't know if it was rescuers drilling or the mountain settling into a new shape. Days passed. Bodies began to change. Small cuts refused to heal. Skin broke out from dampness. Sleep became strange because darkness confuses the brain. Some men slept too much, others couldn't sleep at all, and when you can't tell night from day, fear becomes your calendar. So they turned survival into structure. They organized the refuge like a tiny, fragile society. They cleaned to prevent sickness. They checked each other for injuries. They created routines for rest and movement because muscles fade fast in confinement. They set rules for arguments because anger burns energy, and energy was the currency that kept them alive. Above ground, families gathered and waited. Engineers and rescue teams began drilling exploratory holes, searching for a sign of life. But drilling through rock is cruelly uncertain. A small angle mistake at the surface becomes a huge miss deep below. Each attempt took time. And time underground is a predator. 17 days after the collapse, a drill finally broke into the right area. When the drill bit came back up, It carried something taped to it, a handwritten note. 7 words that flipped the entire world's attention back to that desert. "We are well in the refuge, the 33. They were alive. But alive didn't mean safe. It meant the second horror had begun, waiting inside a trap that could still fail. Now engineers had to drill a rescue shaft wide enough to lift a human being out without crushing him. That takes weeks. And every day, the men had to survive in a chamber that smelled like sweat, damp rock, and stale air, while thousands of tons of stone hung above them like a verdict. Supplies began arriving through narrow boreholes, water, medicine, and small meals, letters from families, cameras that proved the men were still fighting. Communication helped, but it also hurt, because now they knew exactly what they were missing. Children growing, parents aging, sunsets, ordinary air. Hope became something sharp. If you held it too tightly, it could cut you. There were moments when morale dropped hard. Someone would whisper, "What if the drill fails?" Another would answer with the weapon they had: discipline. They reminded each other to eat, to rest, to breathe slow, and to wait every day. Medical teams on the surface worried about the body and the mind. Long confinement can break both. So the miners were guided to keep routines, sleep cycles, hygiene, exercise, even small jobs to keep purpose alive. Down there, purpose wasn't motivation. Purpose was medicine. Weeks turned into a strange normal. The men marked days. They filmed messages. They tried to laugh because laughter pushes panic back for a moment. But every time the mine creaked, every time dust fell from above, the room went silent. Everyone remembered the truth. The mountain had already tried to kill them once. Finally, the rescue plan succeeded. A shaft was drilled wide enough for a capsule, barely wider than a man's shoulders. The capsule was named Phoenix, like a phoenix rising from ashes. It descended into the darkness on cables, guided by people who knew one jam could turn rescue into tragedy. On October 13th, 2010, 69 days after the collapse, the rescue began. One miner entered the capsule. The door closed. The winch pulled him upward through a tunnel with almost no clearance. Minutes stretched. The capsule scraped past rock. The world above listened to every signal like it was a heartbeat. Then the first miner reached daylight. And after him, another. And another. Each man surfaced into bright air that probably felt unreal, like waking up in the wrong life. Medics checked them. Families cried. The planet watched, because it wasn't just a rescue anymore. It was proof that humans can outlast the dark. All 33 made it out alive. And that's the part that shocks people. A mountain tried to erase them, and they still returned. If true survival horror stories like this hit you, subscribe for more real incidents where one moment becomes a fight for life. And comment 33 if you believe you could stay strong in total darkness.